Aquarius, I want to apologize. My alarm actually went off, and I thought that I stopped it and kept filming, but I did not. So I am going to try to finish the last half of this reading. I believe we got to a point where I was speaking about the combination of mind and body and the fight between it. And so I apologize if I backtrack or whatnot. You know, when I'm reading, I'm in a zone. And I really had finished this reading, and it's really beautiful, but I just all of a sudden had this feeling that it wasn't recording, and when I was finished, and it wasn't. So, welcome back. Okay, I think we finished off with the King of Swords, and that just happened. We finished off with the King of Swords, and we move into the Emperor in the future, right? And the Emperor rules an empire, rules with an iron fist, but he also wears his, he wears these same red robes, but he also wears his battle armor underneath, and he holds, the symbol of the divine masculine, and also this giant gold coin, and even though it's fire energy and major arcana for Aries, I also see it as for me as a reader, it's a card of Capricorn, as Capricorn is the patriarch of the zodiac. And rams are also animals on Earth, ram being the symbol of Aries. But point is that, the emperor, he's all four kings in one. He doesn't just rule a kingdom, he rules an entire empire, and it takes time to get to that point, right? He has to go through not only all the stages of the major arcana, he has to also go on certain journeys of the minor arcana, such as finding his own way, understanding balance, understanding certain things. His beard is gray, and if I look ahead to this hangman, right, his hair is actually gray. Because it's so interesting, and the color scheme, especially here, it's very much it's kind of green and red. But here, okay, going back, we have the Emperor going into the Emperor has gotten this power and realizes that maybe he doesn't want the responsibility of being Emperor, because that's a lot of responsibility. It's not, you can't play around, there's no more Knight of Wands, no more, no more Knight of Wands, no more Knight of Swords. Can't do that. You have to be the Emperor. And so all of a sudden it's like reminding himself of the wand that he has, that he had, that he still has, that he's protected all this time, and holding the world in his hand. And looking out and saying, there are other horizons. There are other, an emperor does that too, right? When you rule an empire, as history says, empires conquered, right? They looked at the world and say, okay, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. Mark. Here's our territory, here's their territory, how do we... But this is more of a feeling of, I have a passion for more, right? Ruling an empire, maybe I'm not suited to it, maybe it's what I thought I wanted. But in order to do that, you need to also take the time to really, and I apologize for the construction, which is why I don't tend to read during the day, but so I'm sorry if you hear that. It's very frustrating for me as well, and it's constant. The hanged man chooses to hang himself upside down, chooses to become enlightened, and to me, there are things they say you don't necessarily want. Well, we'll come to that later too, because again, I've already gone through this reading, so now But in doing so, there's the Six of Wands, there's the victory, right? Which turns into the Wheel of Fortune, which is another 10. Tens are beginning of cycles, ends of cycle, flanked by the four fixed signs, Aquarius, you know, Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, wheel always turns. And you're still holding on to this wand that you've had, right? That you've had. But now you're the King of Wands. Now you're the King of Wands. And to me, that says, okay, this Knight of Wands has tempered his passions, right? He's tempered his passions. He's understood how to control his emotions, how to control his mind, and now he can be the King of Wands, which is a fun king. Doesn't have to be the Emperor. King of Wands is great. Next to the King of Wands, we have the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords normally is the no bullshit, tell the truth at all costs. Queen, come closer, don't tell me a lie, I already know the truth, I will cut off your head. In the reverse, the Queen of Swords, to me, is a liar. Now, she's looking at this King of Wands as if she wants to play the part of Queen of Wands, and maybe she comes across that way, but she's really the Queen of Swords in reverse. It's also, if you look at it this way, the mirror image of yourself, right? If you look at it like that, the mirrored image of your own counterpart, like, you know, Narcissus looking in the lake at his own image, except for one is really him and one is just an illusion, right, of the image. And so one is real and one is illusory. One is the truth, one is a lie. One doesn't truly exist. Just something interesting to take note of. Because at the bottom of the deck we have these four of cups. And again, you know, there's been this theme of three cups and four, like, of threes, a lot of threes. So you might be seeing a lot of threes. You know, there's also the theme of sixes. But here specifically, you know, this person is so, and it's so interesting because he's wearing, you know, it looks like the son of the King of Wands almost, like, you know, almost reminiscing into past days in a way, or could be literally the sun, but, you know, so, like, only paying attention to these three cups and not noticing the cup that the universe is handing to him, right? But notice the same red and the same green here, right? And it's funny that underneath that is I could have sworn there was a different card under that last, I don't know. Underneath that was the seven of, so again, when I said illusory, there's underneath that is the seven of cups, which is a card of total illusion. But regardless, seven, you know, you have four of cups here, right? If you add 4 cups plus 8 cups, you get 12 cups. That's 3, so then 12, 1 plus 2 is 3, back to 3 cups that you're paying attention to. You have 4 cups plus 6 cups, you get 10 cups. That's emotional fulfillment. That's beautiful. It's your choice. That's the whole point, is it's your choice. It remains in your hands how you want to use, you know, your ability to have control of your emotions, like this King of Cups. In your first row column of self, and what matters to you, walking away from what no longer serves you, basking in the sunlight, and having power. Power is what matters to you. But in power, you forget the freedom that comes with not having the responsibility of so much power. With feeling young again, with the sun shining on you. Major arcana for Leo, you know, and Emperor is, for me, Aries and Capricorn. But, you know, this is beautiful energy. This is freedom of, like, you know, be free. And that's what in the past, I think you walked away to find. You said, I can get these 10 cups, I can get this emotional fulfillment. I just need to trust myself and walk away. But you forgot what it was you were actually after because, you know, power became more important. In your immediate surroundings, you have 8 of Wands in reverse. That's like communication at a stop still, travel at a stop still. It's you know, not moving anywhere, right? And you have the 9 of Wands right under it, which means like this 8 of Wands is now planted firmly in the ground. They're really not moving anywhere. And you have the 9th Wand, which you're holding on to, blocking all of your chakras. And so it's like the home is a battlefield. I mean, I'm joking on the Petatar song, but you know, and then realizing, still with this hand on this cup, that there's a world beyond. There is a world beyond. And you can have that grasp, but it means giving up this power struggle. This, you know, where there's no communication, just saying, okay, we can't communicate, and give it up. I'm moving on. Or maybe it means, hey babe, come with me. Or hey team, work. Look at what we could do, because this isn't working. Something's not working. And then we get into, you know, here, your hopes and your fears, and you want to be balanced. You want to have enough to be able to provide for yourself, for your family, and to give to others, right? This is like the person that walked off, came back, and is like, I found the balance. I found the balance I'm looking for. 6 beautiful numbers. 6 is the vibrational number of love, you know. And then it goes into this King of Cups, emotional stability, you know. It's not, you know, there's a dysregulation of emotion. It's stoicism, it's understanding, but it's always having your cup full. There's this snake in the back. I forget what we've talked about. I'm sorry, because I'm kind of always channeling, so forgive me if I repeat things. But the same colors of these 3 cards are so prominent, right? Worn in different ways. The red cape here with the blue tunic. Then the entire robe in this kind of, you know, blue. Then again back to almost a page's tunic with the red tights, but the enlightenment around the head, reminiscent of the sun, you know, but being enlightened. Gray hair of the emperor, like, you know, sometimes enlightenment turns your hair gray. Sometimes, ironically, I had, you know, I don't like to discuss religion necessarily, but I did go to a Catholic school, and I did have a nun that, as a teacher, and I was not Catholic. You know, I wasn't baptized. I don't consider myself Catholic. So, although I'm respectful of all religions and have studied the Bible extensively and pretty much every other religious text, I just don't want anyone to think that I'm against any religion. Not at all. It reminded me of this nun that literally had a traumatic experience happen in her life, and her hair went gray overnight. And, you know, it was short too. It was, you know, nuns keep their hair short. So, you know, this emperor has this long hair, you know, and this long beard. But this is like becoming enlightened, and all of a sudden it's like, her name is Sister Mary Janice. And if anyone from my high school ever watches this, they will remember her. She was my homeroom teacher and my AP critical theology teacher. I don't remember exactly, but she was a very soft-spoken, beautiful woman. And I always thought it was fascinating that her hair went gray overnight, because she was was very young, you know, relatively young at that age. At this age, she seems very young. At that age, she was just a teacher. Anyway, but that needs to happen, and that's what I think your fear is, taking that deep dive. Because I think it'll uncover things that you might not want to remember, such as like this nostalgia from this past, right? Because it's really like, you know, the known factors in that you feel this nostalgia, this melancholia, this thing for this past, this simplicity, this purity that you feel like has maybe been tainted. And then stable offers that have come into your life that you have ignored because they haven't seemed exciting. And this victory that you've had regardless, right? So you've had the past innocence, the past purity, the past kind of true love, passion, true love in love's most simple form. The stability of the Knight of Pentacles and the glory of the Six of Wands, right? In the hidden factors, so this is what people can see, and this is what you see and know about yourself, but in the hidden factors, the Knight of Wands, the in and out knight, the knight that wants to just have fun, that lives by his passions, and the horse is, you know, like I said, here for a good time, not for a long time. The fact that you are completely undecided within your head, again, we see this crescent, you know, the crescent moon, the tides behind, you know, moon and Libra energy, again, Libra being about balance, so it's, you know, the fact that you are in balance in some sense of the way, but you are also blocking off your intuition and your heart chakra with these swords. You're all up in your head. But yet the wheel still turns. Tens, again, all about endings and beginnings of cycles. So in the hidden factors, what people don't see is maybe they see a Knight of Pentacles and a stable person and a person that's victorious and wears a laurel wreath and whatnot. But the fact is, you are in your head, confused about a decision, can't make a decision, following your passions, possibly, you know, to an extreme, and knowing that the wheel is turning, whether, you know, and you don't have control of that. You'd like to think you do, but you don't, technically. I mean, the universe does. And then what's in your immediate future? You have Judgment, you have Knight of Swords, you have King of Wands. So in the immediate future, it's heeding the call to not be this Knight of Swords so that you can be this King of Wands, right? You can't be this Knight of Swords and this King of Wands. Knight of Swords can't be the King of Wands. He has to grow up. So it's heeding the call. It's not fixating on these three cups and missing the opportunities offered to you that seem, you know, no, I'm so fixated on this that I can't even look at that. No, I'm so fixated on this that I can't look at the fact that my horse is saying turn around. I'm so fixated that I can't hear the call. Because in hearing call is the only way that you grow up and become the King of Wands, which is kind of like the most fun king to be, I gotta be honest, you know. It doesn't have to rule an empire like the emperor, but he also gets to have some fun. He doesn't have to be this stoic King of Cups or this stoic King of Swords, you know. If I was gonna want to be a king, I mean, it's Leo and Cancer energy, and so that's kind of two, you know, the lion and the crab, both, you know. I'm partial because I have a lot of Leo in my chart, and I also have Cancer in my chart, so. But King of Wands is fun. He's still a king. He still rules, you know? In the long-term future, you plant the seeds to get there. Again, we're back to this kind of tunic energy, right? This tunic energy. Now the colors are reversed. He's wearing the red again, the cloak of the robes of the, you know, he's back to remembering that you have to plant the seeds first, and the 6 and the 1, the 6. Always making sure to kind of remember that pentacle, that stability, that center of your reed here. always making sure that you have that stable, solid pentacle, right? While you wait for the rest of your harvest. To the King of Swords, to the Queen of Swords in reverse. Again, this is, I think, if it's not a counterpart, where possibly some of you are going through a divorce, long-term future, or will be going through a divorce, or have thought you found a partner that was your kind of like person, but really they're fraudulent, they're kind of a liar, not kind of a liar, they are a liar, and can't even look at you because they're off looking at this guy, right? They're secretly is kind of you. Even though this is you, right? This is Aquarian energy. This is your energy to me in this reading. I mean, you're all of these. You've combined so much by the time you get here. But she's looking here and lying to get there. Meh. And if not, it's your shadow self that you don't want to face. Which means doing the deep dive. So when I pulled out the animal or spirit cards, the Wild Unknown deck by Kim Krantz, what I got was the fox, the camel, and the crow. And the whale at the bottom of the deck. They said look at the bottom of the deck, which they don't always do. So that's why this deep dive is so important, and it's so similar, right? I mean, as above, so below. This person hangs themselves upside down on the earthly plane to like get enlightened, and this whale comes from the depths and becomes enlightened. It's really about doing the deep dive, because in the past we had the fox. The fox is wily, he's cunning, he's smart, he's all these things. Oh, I'm sorry about the noise. And you know, to get ahead, right? He's more of this Knight of Wands energy, and not realizing that in order to maintain that for the long haul, he really has to become this kind of camel energy, right? The camel who holds their well in their backs and travel long distances over these desert plains, and we see this crescent moon, this waxing crescent moon again, which comes after a new moon in the background. It's, you know, so reminiscent here, but so it's having your own well, right, to always carry with you, so that you don't need to take from others. You can meet people with your well, with your cup full, and they can meet you in the same way. And you can sustain whatever it is you build, you know? So you don't burn yourself out by getting to Emperor so fast that it's like, oh, I don't really actually want to be Emperor. I just thought I did, right? And then you have the crow in your future energy. And the crow, to me, it's very much like realizing that and saying, wait, okay, I have this world in my hand. I have this world. And to me, the crow is very much the high priestess, right? High priestess energy. Like, it's... you know, the crows are so smart, they're so wise. And you hear a crow calling, kind of like this judgment card, you pay attention, you heed the crow's call. And again, it's kind of like this whale doing this deep dive. As above, so below. The crow sits on top of the world. Air energy as the whale is beneath the water energy from the depths, coming up from the up, coming down. It's like, you know, it's just beautiful. Crow's also, in terms of high priestess, she's also, you know, it's also a creature that knows. It's intuition, and it's knowing, and it's knowledge. It's knowing the truth. And then the three crystal cards that I pulled. Oh, sorry, the Moonology card. If you want to think of a question, I'll give you a second. The first answer was you were good enough, full moon in Virgo. And the second answer was, what do you need to release? Waning moon. What do you need to release? Now, we've seen a bunch of waxing crescent moons First time we've seen the waning moon, except for in the very beginning. It's kind of almost eclipse, right? Waning moon here. And also, this is a card of release. It's what we started with. So what do you need to release? Comes full circle. Is it lying to yourself about something? Is it not the inability to make decisions? Is it not accepting who you are? Is it not wanting to delve into the real, do that deep dive? Being afraid that if you do, things will come up that you don't want to face? Like this? Trust me, doing a deep dive, not always easy, but never leads you down a wrong path. Even if it's hard, it only benefits you in the long run. It only leads to victory, right? And then your 3 stones were agate, sodalite, and tourmalated quartz. So agate was get back into balance. Sodalite is speak your truth, and tourmalated quartz is get out of your own way. So as we talked a lot about balance in this reading, I mean, agate's very easy to find in many different colors. I'm sure you can find something that, find a stone that resonates with you. I'll read it again quickly. I'm sorry to have rushed through this. I just, I feel like my throat is like, anyway. Now is the time for mastering your sense of equilibrium. Reevaluate how you spend your time and energy to ensure your efforts are aligned with the priorities in your life. Choose to put the less important things on the back burner so you can give your full attention to what matters most. Taking things at a slower pace does not equate to a less productive day. Often, it's just the opposite. Taking your time and distributing your energy in a healthier, more intentional way will help you feel more centered, enabling you to become more successful in everything you do. Core questions. What are the priorities in your life? Sorry, I should have asked. If you'd like to pause this and get a journal or whatever, I like to end with some questions because I think journaling on a daily basis is a good habit to get into in general. So that's that. And they're simple questions but can add up to a lot. So what are the priorities in your life? What areas in your life get most of your time and energy? Are these things aligned? Are you spending your time in a way that serves your intentions and supports a balanced life? Your affirmation is balance is my natural state of being. Today, stop and take 3 deep breaths anytime you feel out of balance, giving yourself the time to remember what's important. So, balance is my natural state of being. Next we have sodalite. And sodalite is great for the throat chakra. It's great for air signs. I recommend it. It's great for communication, especially if there's blocked communication. I've often gifted friends sodalite. If I felt like they're trying to express something that they're having trouble getting the words out or whatnot. Speak your truth. You have something to say. You have a powerful voice. Speak up. Allow your words to flow from your heart, ensuring that your communication is authentic to how you feel. Although it can be much easier to let certain things go unsaid, it's important to have those difficult conversations, even awkward conversations, to express yourself and ask for what you really need. Articulating your thoughts and feelings to others allows them to understand and honor your truth. Through your clear, confident communication, others can hear what your heart is really saying. When do you need to speak up for yourself? Where are you not being honest with yourself and others? How would it feel to speak your truth? And your affirmation is, I communicate clearly and others listen to my truth. Today, speak from your heart instead of your head. which is exactly what we were saying earlier about the kind of mind, heart, body balance of things, right? So I communicate clearly and others listen to my truth. I mean, hence why this channel is Ace of Ace of Spades, you know, it's about speaking what I read as, you know, kind of unfiltered, and not rainbows and butterflies, but it's for me, honesty is a better policy than any other. Last and not least, terminated quartz. Sorry, I feel like I've been talking for hours, even though this was my first reading of the day. Get out of your own way. The path is clear to your success. All you need to do is claim it. You are the sole owner and operator of your personal journey. Shed any thoughts of self-doubt which can lead to derailment. You are entitled to live your best life. Don't relinquish your power by giving in to negative thoughts or trying to avoid or deflect responsibility. Confront any obstacles that emerge and consciously seek out solutions. Success is yours. Take control, take ownership, and take heart, and you will take command of your own destiny. Questions. Have you been blaming others, complaining, or making excuses? Where have you avoided taking ownership of your own life? And the affirmation is, I get out of my own way, allowing my success to come to me. Today, challenge yourself to refrain from complaining, blaming others, or making excuses. I get out of my own way, allowing my success to come to me. Again, this is Heather Akinosi's Daily Crystal Inspiration deck and guidebook. I might not have mentioned that because it was cut off. So, I apologize again for the cut off, and if I missed anything, again, I apologize about that. I will be doing new readings within the next couple of days that will be more of a free flow. This is, again, just a general gauge. So they will not be this long, and they will not be this extensive. I think I'll probably do these at most 4 times a year, if not twice a year, if not once a year. But regardless, again, please comment on anything, or if you have any questions, and my email is it will be in the description box. It's also in the about section. And thank you so much. I feel very grateful for those of you who have taken your time to be here with me. And I wish you all a beautiful, beautiful day. Ciao for now. Namaste.